Welcome to Bloomington Today. I'm Emily Taplin. Thanks for joining us. We bring you the buzz for the week of August 5th through August 11th. Bloomington voters will be asked to consider the city's organized garbage collection on the November ballot. You'll be able to vote on the way solid waste is collected in the city. That includes garbage, recycling, yard waste, and curbside cleanup. This is a result of the February 2020 Minnesota Supreme Court decision that a resident petition to require a vote before moving to city organized solid waste collection was lawful. Voters will see two questions on the ballot.
Question 1 asks voters if they want to change the city's charter to prevent the city from organizing solid waste collection without a vote by residents in a general election. So, a yes vote to question 1 means you do want to change the city's charter to require voters to decide if Bloomington should continue with city organized solid waste collection. A no vote means you do not want to change the city's charter and you want to continue with the regular city organized solid waste collection system. So if question 1 passes and the city's charter is changed, then question 2 gives voters the opportunity to decide whether or not city organized solid waste collection should continue. So a yes vote to question 2 means you want to stop the current city organized solid waste collection program and revert to a system where each resident selects their own individual private trash hauler. A no vote means you want to continue with the current city organized solid waste collection program. So it's important to note that the passage of question 2 is contingent upon the passage of question 1. So if question 1 doesn't pass and the city's charter doesn't change, then question 2 won't be considered and city organized solid waste collection will continue. And again, we recognize that this is complicated, so we've put together detailed responses to frequently asked questions on our website to give voters an opportunity to learn more about those ballot questions.
Head to blm.mn/garbage for additional details. You can also call 952-563-4581. Current residential garbage and recycling will continue as normal. If any changes are needed after the election, additional information will be provided. The former head of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recently called out Minnesota as one of the best in the country when it comes to the overall reporting of COVID-19 data. Dr. Thomas Frieden was quoted in the New York Times article singling out Minnesota as the overall leader in the country. He leads a nonprofit called Resolve to Save Lives, which looks at COVID-19 metrics being reported by states across the country to inform communities and public health action. Minnesota was the leader, reporting 43% of the 15 metrics, which include things like cases, deaths, mask use, and isolation time.
A lot of these gaps that we're seeing in the data are things that are present around the country. And it's largely due to investment in public health infrastructure. So public health infrastructure right now is being pushed and taxed, especially on the data side. And many of the infrastructure systems we're using are older. They're not as nimble, they're not as flexible. And so while Minnesota has made great strides over the last few years to build up that capacity, some of our gaps still highlight challenges with our current system and structures that will be fixed in time, but it's hard to do it in the middle of a crisis.
The more data we have on people with COVID-19, the better we can address what's going on in public health to try to make things better. So data is a bunch of numbers, maybe a spreadsheet, but we can look at it all together and say, what's going on. For example, we saw earlier that the number of younger people with COVID-19 was increasing. So that allowed us to say that our communications department should focus their communications and outreach on the younger community because we know that they were having an uptick.
Along with the rest of the country, Bloomington Public Schools is working to determine the safest way for students to learn in the upcoming school year.
The governor's office have put out probably the best guidance I've seen around the country for how schools should be making decisions. They literally updated some of the data points last week as new data came out. It is incredibly sound from a public health epidemiology standpoint about the 5 different thresholds they've set in place for how to make decisions and assist that decision-making process with schools. We're really fortunate here in Bloomington that our city boundaries are contiguous with the school district. And we have a long-standing, fantastic relationship with our school district. And so just like we've been doing since the start of this pandemic, we're working really, really closely with the school district and working with our partners at the state Department of Health and Department of Education to work with the school district to help assist them in decision making so that they're doing everything they can to provide the best education possible for students while protecting their staff and students' health.
Mask Up Bloomington. The city is encouraging residents to wear masks in a new social media campaign featuring some of our favorite Bloomington landmarks like Old Cedar Avenue Bridge and the Clock Tower. The governor's order requiring all Minnesotans to wear face coverings inside public spaces went into effect July 25th. If your business is in need of masks or you know a business in need of them, the Bloomington Chamber of Commerce might be able to help. The Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development has made masks available for chambers of commerce across the state to distribute. There will be distribution sites across the Twin Cities, including right here in Bloomington. The first day is Monday, August 10th at Mall of America from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and at Creekside Community Center on Thursday, August 13th from noon to 4 and Friday, August 14th from 1 to 4. If you'd like to submit a mask request for your business ahead of time, head to blm.mn/businessmasks. Nominations are being accepted for the Omar Bonderud Human Rights Award. This award is presented by the Human Rights Commission to an individual or organization that has made a significant contribution to ensuring the rights of vulnerable groups in Bloomington. Omar Bonderud was the first chairperson of the commission, formed in 1968.
We really want to take the time to recognize the good and the positive work that's happening throughout Bloomington and the people that are really making a difference. Sometimes that work is thankless work. When you're out striving for justice and equity for people who are downtrodden by society, it can be forgotten. So the Human Rights Commission really wants to take the time and the effort to recognize that work, to give them an opportunity to celebrate the work that they're doing, but also to share with the broader community that good that is happening locally.
To learn more or nominate someone, head to blm.mn/Bondaroot or call the number on your screen to request a paper application. On Monday, July 27th, the Bloomington Rotary Club hosted a community conversation on race. The focus was on developing understanding around race and equity. It was held at the Bloomington Hilton and was live streamed on the city's Facebook page. The forum featured a panel of community leaders from across the city, and City Manager Jamie Verbrugge moderated the event.
I think as a society, when things become uncomfortable, we just walk away from it. And I think that what we're seeing now with the unrest that's going on, and people are just getting tired, right? Sick and tired of being sick and tired, and people are ready to have these kind of conversations.
And I think police departments are finding out if you have no relationship with your community, like you don't spend any time other than responding to 911 calls and doing what people think the traditional parts of policing are, and you don't spend any time, you don't have sufficient staffing to go out and really engage in conversation and build deep and meaningful relationships, you probably don't have deep levels of trust in your community.
To view the entire conversation, head to blm.mn/FBLive. The city has served up more than 1,000 meals to families in the Smith Park neighborhood over the summer. In June, Parks and Recreation and the Fire Department teamed up with Bloomington Public Schools to pass out lunches to students on weekdays throughout the summer. The school district recently sent a thank you to the city and said more than 1,121 meals had been served as of July 23rd. That is the buzz on Bloomington Today for the week of August 5th through the 11th. If you would like to watch other stories from the show, go to this week's playlist. There you'll find a look at the latest Atrium Gallery exhibit at Civic Plaza. And avoid the 3 C's to help slow the spread of COVID-19. We'll tell you what they are. Thanks for watching.